Well, it's Friday. That means it's time for the Bell Breakdown. Josh Bell, there it is. I love that bell. It symbolizes a start to the segment. We're talking about a lot of, well, not a lot, two movies that I think have garnered a lot of attention and a lot of opinions. So let's start with Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. What'd you think?
It was okay. I mean, it's hard to have a reaction to a Star Wars movie that's kind of neutral like that because, like you said, there's a lot of passion about these movies, both positive and negative. The previous one, The Last Jedi, was very polarizing among fans. A lot of people really hated it, and a lot of people really loved it. But I think what they're trying to do with this one, which is the third movie in the new trilogy, and also allegedly wraps up the whole saga of Luke Skywalker and his family. Oh, you can't see, but I'm wearing my Luke Skywalker shirt here.
You are. I love that.
So I think they're trying really hard to do what fans want or what they think fans want. So it feels like it's playing it really safe. In a lot of ways, it's kind of going back on some of the more subversive things that they did in the previous movie and putting it more in line with maybe what people expect from Star Wars or with what they think people want from Star Wars. That doesn't mean that it's not entertaining, that it's not fun to watch. I still like Daisy Ridley a lot as Rey, who is really the main character of this series. And this movie especially makes it so clear that it's about her journey as a character more really than anything else. But you've got Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker in it. They've got even Carrie Fisher, who passed away before this was shot, but they used some unused footage of her that is a little awkward, honestly, at times, but it's nice that they were able to include her and give her character a bit of a wrap-up. Some of the action is exciting, the special effects look amazing. I think from a story standpoint, it's a bit cluttered, it's a bit rushed. You can really feel kind of like the gears turning behind the scenes in terms of what they're doing, not as much from a storytelling perspective, but from like a corporate perspective of like, how do we make this the franchise, fit it in the way that we want it to fit for the franchise. So to me, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's entertaining enough.
Right.
I am not super personally invested in Star Wars, so I can enjoy it, but I didn't love it. And I think especially if people who loved that previous movie, they're going to be the most disappointed by this one.
Okay. So you're not going to walk away necessarily with like unanswered questions, though. Like, does it tie up the loose ends of the story?
It ties up most of the loose ends. I think the ones that are the most relevant, the ones that people care about. I mean, this isn't the end of Star Wars, obviously. There will be more movies. I mean, heck, you can watch The Mandalorian on Disney Plus right now. There's a new episode this week. But as far as that particular story and these particular characters go, it does give it kind of tie a nice little bow on it at the end.
I had to laugh when I was back in Thanksgiving, or back with my family over Thanksgiving. My 2.5-year-old nephew is really into Star Wars, and there's like a Lego Star Wars show that he watches, an animated show. So Star Wars really is all over the place, no matter what.
Oh yeah, we've got a Star Wars game show coming on Disney Plus next year. So yeah, it never ends. Yeah.
Okay, well let's move on to Cats, because I think people are very opinionated about Cats as well, especially just seeing the trailer. It's a little unnerving to see these people, these actors and actresses dressed up as cats, even for people who maybe love the play Cats.
Yeah, I mean, they're more than just dressed up. What they do, I mean, if you see it on stage, they're dressed up. What they do in this movie is it's CGI, digital fur technology, as they call it. That's the technical term for it. Yeah, and it's a very uncanny, unsettling kind of thing that rather than having them in costumes, they try to make it sort of realistic, but obviously it's not realistic. They're cat people, and they got people hands and people feet and cat fur and people faces, and it's really jarring, and it's never not jarring. It's not the kind of thing where at first you're confused and then you get into it. I, at least, never got into it. And I think part of it is that everything else about this movie also doesn't work. And if it was just that, maybe you could get past it. And I've never seen the stage production, so I can't say how that feels.
I haven't either.
But this has no story. It's essentially just a series of these cats singing about themselves. They all introduce themselves, and then one of them gets to go to heaven. or be reincarnated, it's kind of unclear. The movie has a tiny bit of plot with Idris Elba's character, who's sort of a villain, but it's barely even there. There's a couple of jokes beyond the songs that they added in from Rebel Wilson and James Corden, but the songs to me, they're dreary, they're not fun or energetic. The way they're shot doesn't give you a sense of the dance talent involved. Okay. The sets have there's these giant sets that are designed to make the cat people look small, but the proportions are never quite right. And I mean, really, honestly, I don't think there's anything that works about this movie. It just, for its sheer craziness. But even then, I feel like don't spend $12 and 2 hours to just be like, what is this?
Right. I feel like you probably get what you need to just by seeing the trailer, right?
Exactly.
You're unnerved, you're confused.
You really do. But I think there's a lot of people who are excited to maybe be inebriated and watch this movie. And I don't feel like it's enough of a train wreck to really warrant that. It's just boring and tedious.
Boring. Okay.
Yeah.
And Memories doesn't save it.
No, Jennifer Hudson sings Memory, but again, it's like this serious emotional thing, and she's crying, and she looks like a cat. It just doesn't work.
Wait for that to come out on YouTube, I guess.
Something
Josh, thanks
like
so much
that.
for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, more news and weather coming up after the break.